All right, welcome back for another deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
Today, we're going back in time
Back in time.
to 1900 to peek into the world of early engines.
Oh, cool.
Now, we already know engines need a spark to get going,
Right.
but how do they make that spark happen reliably,
Hmm.
especially when drivers wanted to control their speed?
Good question.
Get ready, because our source material is a patent,
Ooh.
and not just any patent.
Okay.
It's the sparking igniter for explosion engines,
Wow.
filed by Frederick, Richard Sims, and Robert Bosch.
Yeah, that Bosch.
Yeah, that Bosch.
What's fascinating here is that this patent isn't just a technical document.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot of a turning point in automotive history.
I like that.
We're talking about the era of the Model T,
Oh, yeah, Model T.
when cars were just starting to become more commonplace.
Okay.
And this invention was addressing a very real challenge:
Oh.
how to make these newfangled contraptions go faster or slower on demand.
So no more just hoping for the best when you hit the gas.
Huh.
This patent lays out a system for precise ignition timing
Okay.
using a magneto-electric ignition system.
Interesting.
Imagine trying to drive a car where the spark happens whenever it feels like it.
Oh.
Jerky, unpredictable, maybe even dangerous.
Yeah, I don't like that.
This invention aimed to smooth things out and give drivers more control.
Okay. I'm picturing a Model T sputtering along,
Yeah.
and suddenly it gets this upgrade.
All right.
What changes for the driver?
Well, for starters,
Mm.
imagine being able to actually control your speed.
Finally.
This patent's all about using a series of gears,
Okay.
a cam, and a contact lever
Right.
to make sure the spark happens at precisely the right moment.
No more guesswork.
No more guesswork.
All right, so it's like they're fine-tuning the heart of the engine
Yeah.
to make it beat more rhythmically.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And this precise timing was critical for engine efficiency, too.
Oh, interesting how... Think of it like this. If you hit a golf ball at just the right moment,
Right.
you get a powerful, clean shot.
Nice.
Miss the timing, and you're slicing it into the rough.
Oh,
Same idea here.
gotcha.
By controlling the spark, you optimize the explosion, making the engine more powerful and fuel efficient.
So this isn't just some tinkerers messing around.
No.
This is a fundamental shift in how engines work.
Definitely.
But we're talking 1900, right?
Yeah.
How complex could this system be?
Oh, it's deceptively complex. The patent drawings
Okay.
show this intricate dance of gears and levers,
Wow.
all working together to translate the engine's rotation into precise spark timing.
That sounds pretty complex.
There's a component called the rocking envelope.
Rocking envelope.
Yes.
What?
That plays a key role in generating the high voltage needed for the spark.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A rocking envelope.
Yes.
That sounds more like something out of a magic show.
It does have a bit of flair to it,
Uh-huh.
but it's actually a clever application of electromagnetism.
Interesting.
You see, by rocking this envelope back and forth,
Okay.
you're changing the magnetic field around a coil of wire,
Right.
inducing a current.
So creative.
It's like a miniature power plant right there inside the engine.
You wouldn't believe this was happening over a century ago.
I know, right?
It's like they cracked the code
Yeah,
for reliable, controlled engine power.
it really is.
But how did this patent go from a technical drawing to shaping the automotive landscape we know today?
That's where the name Robert Bosch comes in.
All right, Bosch.
This wasn't just a brilliant invention.
Right.
It was the foundation for a company that would become synonymous with automotive technology.
Makes sense.
We know Bosch today for its cutting-edge systems,
Absolutely.
but it all started with this spark of ingenuity, literally.
So this patent isn't just a cool piece of history.
No,
It's the origin story of a giant.
it really is.
Did this specific invention lead to Bosch's success? Or was it just the start?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but what we do know
Yeah.
is that this patent represents a significant step forward in engine design.
Okay.
It tackled a key challenge of the time-speed control,
Right.
and it did so with a solution that was both ingenious and practical. It's not hard to imagine that this success helped establish Bosch as a leader in ignition systems,
Makes sense.
setting the stage for their future innovations.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
We started with a dusty old patent,
Uh-huh.
and now we're talking about the birth of a global company.
Amazing.
This deep dive is full of surprises.
It just goes to show that big things often have small beginnings.
That's true.
And in this case, that small beginning had a massive impact on the future of transportation.
It makes you wonder, knowing how far engine technology has come,
Right?
what Sims and Bosch would think about cars today.
That's an intriguing question,
It is.
and one we'll explore a bit later. But first, let's delve a little deeper into the heart of their invention. Remember that rocking envelope we talked about?
Of course. How could I forget?
Let's uncover how it actually worked and why it was so crucial for generating that all-important spark.
Gotcha.
This is where the real ingenuity comes in.
All right, I'm ready to get shocked by this 1900s tech wizardry.
Aha!
Lead the way.
Let's go. So picture this. Inside this rocking envelope, you've got a coil of wire wrapped around an iron core. As the envelope rocks back and forth, remember, it's linked to the engine.
Right.
The magnetic field passing through that coil changes.
Okay.
And that's what creates the electrical current.
Wow.
Like magic.
Wait, are you telling me they're harnessing the power of magnets
They are.
to create a spark? That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Pretty ingenious, right?
But I'm picturing a bunch of wires flailing around.
Uh-huh.
How did they actually control that spark?
Okay, good question.
So it happens at just the right time.
That's where the precision engineering comes in.
Okay.
The current generated by the rocking envelope
Right.
doesn't go straight to the spark plug.
Oh,
It goes to a device called a contact breaker.
contact breaker.
Essentially a very fast switch.
Okay.
And the switch is timed perfectly with the engine's cycle,
Gotcha.
thanks to a clever cam and tappet system.
Okay, so they're building up electrical energy
Right.
with this rocking magnet setup.
Yeah,
And then the contact breaker acts like a gatekeeper,
I like that.
releasing that energy at just the right moment to create the spark.
You got it.
Clever.
It's a symphony of mechanical movements, all perfectly synchronized to optimize the combustion process.
And remember,
Yeah.
we're talking about an era
Right.
when these types of systems were cutting edge.
Very much so.
Imagine the workshops,
Oh, yeah.
the tinkering,
Absolutely.
the trial and error
So much trial and error.
that went into perfecting this invention.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It blows my mind to think that over a century ago,
I know.
they were already grappling with these fundamental engineering challenges.
You really were.
But here's what I don't get. Why go through all this trouble?
Okay.
With magnets and rocking envelopes?
Yeah,
Couldn't they have just used a battery or something?
that's a great question.
Thanks.
Batteries were around in the early 1900s.
Right.
But they weren't quite up to the task of reliably powering an engine. They were bulky, prone to failure, and couldn't provide the high voltage needed for a strong spark.
So those early batteries weren't really an option.
Not really, no.
Gotcha.
This magneto-electric system was a more robust solution,
Okay.
generating its own power.
So it's like they created a self-powered spark machine.
Exact.
No wonder this invention was such a game changer.
It really was a big deal.
But let's go back to Robert Bosch for a moment.
All right.
We know he co-filed this patent,
Yeah.
but how did he go from inventor to building a global empire?
Well, it's important to remember
Okay.
that Bosch wasn't just a tinkerer.
Right.
He was a savvy businessman.
So he had the vision
Exactly.
to see where this could go.
Yeah, he saw the potential of this invention.
Right.
Not just to improve existing engines, but to create a whole new industry.
So he was more than just an inventor. He was an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
What kind of moves did he make to capitalize on this patent?
One of the key things Bosch did
Okay.
was focus on quality and reliability.
Smart.
He understood that for this invention to succeed,
Right.
it had to work flawlessly.
Makes sense.
And it had to last.
I can imagine that was important back then,
Oh, absolutely.
when cars were still a new thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did he ensure that quality?
He invested in precision manufacturing,
Okay.
rigorous testing, and built a reputation for excellence.
So he took this ingenious idea
Right.
and turned it into a product that people could trust.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
But I imagine there was a lot of competition back then.
Oh, yeah.
What set Bosch apart from the pack?
Well, Bosch was also a master of innovation.
Okay, so not just quality, but also constantly improving.
Right. He don't just rest on the success of this one patent.
He kept pushing forward.
Yeah, he continued to improve and refine his designs,
Interesting.
introducing new features and constantly pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
So he wasn't just riding the wave of this one invention.
Nope.
He was surfing ahead of it.
I like that.
Always looking for the next big break.
Exactly. And this constant drive to innovate
Yeah.
is what ultimately cemented Bosch's position as a leader in the automotive industry.
Makes sense. Always staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
It's incredible to think
It is.
that the seeds of this global company
Yeah.
were planted right here in this patent.
Amazing. Right.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of an automotive dynasty.
It's a testament to the power of combining technical brilliance
Right.
with entrepreneurial vision.
Now, we've talked a lot about the mechanics of this invention
Yeah.
and its impact on the automotive industry.
Right.
But I can't help but wonder about the human side of this story.
Oh, interesting.
What were Sims and Bosch like as individuals? Were they rivals, collaborators, best friends?
Unfortunately, the historical record doesn't give us a lot of personal details
Too bad.
about their relationship.
Okay.
What we do know is that they recognize the importance of collaboration.
So even back then, it was all about teamwork.
It seems so.
But it makes you wonder what their workshop was like.
Right.
Were they huddled over a workbench, sparks flying,
Yeah.
arguing about gears and levers?
It's easy to romanticize those early days of invention.
I guess so.
But the reality is
Yeah.
that innovation often involves a lot of frustration,
Right.
setbacks,
Right. But
and those aha moments that make it all worthwhile.
I guess that's part of the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's not always glamorous, but it's always a journey of discovery.
Absolutely. And in this case, that journey led to a pivotal moment in automotive history,
For sure.
one that continues to shape the way we think about engines and
Well,
the companies that build them.
This deep dive has been so much more than just a history lesson.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum.
I like that.
It's driven by passion, collaboration,
Right.
and a relentless pursuit of making things better.
Well said.
Thanks.
And as we wrap up this part of our exploration,
Okay.
I want to leave you with the thought.
Right.
We've marveled at the ingenuity of this invention.
We have.
But we also have to acknowledge that it was created in a different time with different priorities.
Right. Back then, it was all about making things work.
Exactly.
Not so much about the environmental impact.
Yeah. What do you think Sims and Bosch would make of the environmental concerns surrounding combustion engines today?
That's a great question. And one that leads us perfectly into our final thoughts.
Okay, let's do it.
This invention was groundbreaking for its time,
Absolutely.
but it also paved the way
Right.
for an industry that has had a significant impact on our planet.
Yeah, that's true.
So, as we step back and consider the legacy of this spark of ingenuity, let's also reflect on the responsibility
Right.
that comes with innovation.
That's a good point.
Join us for the final part of our deep dive
Okay.
as we explore these ideas further. It's almost like we've time traveled
Yeah.
back to the dawn of the automobile,
Right.
seeing the challenges and triumphs of those early engineers firsthand.
And what's striking is that their invention,
Yeah.
while revolutionary,
Right.
also laid the groundwork for an industry that has had a complex relationship with the environment.
It's true.
It's hard to imagine Sims and Bosch working in their workshops, envisioning a future of traffic jams and emissions concerns.
It really makes you think
It does.
about the ripple effects of innovation,
Yeah.
both the intended and the unintended.
Absolutely.
They solved a problem,
Right.
made cars more efficient and reliable.
They did.
But could they have foreseen the long-term consequences?
It's a question that applies to almost any technological advancement.
I guess so.
What's fascinating here is that this patent focused on making engines work better.
Right. More efficient, more reliable.
Now invites us to consider how we make engines work with the planet.
It's like their invention sparked a whole new set of challenges
It did.
for future generations of engineers.
For sure.
So knowing what we know now
Yeah.
about the need for sustainability, what can we learn from Sims and Bosch?
I think one key takeaway
Okay.
is the importance of thinking holistically
Right.
about innovation.
Thinking about the big picture.
Sims and Bosch focused on solving a specific problem,
Right.
and they did it brilliantly.
Yeah, they nailed it for their time.
But today, we have to consider the broader impact of our innovations,
Right.
not just on the immediate problem, but on the environment,
Right.
on society,
Yeah.
on the future as a whole.
It's like we need to add a new dimension to the design process,
I think so.
factoring in the long-term consequences from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But wouldn't that stifle innovation?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah, wouldn't it slow things down?
But I believe it's about finding a balance.
Okay.
We don't have to choose between progress and sustainability.
I like that.
We can strive for both.
Yeah.
It's about being mindful.
Okay.
asking tough questions,
Right.
and being willing to adjust our course when needed.
So we're not just building machines anymore.
Yeah.
We're building a future.
That's right.
And that requires a different kind of thinking.
It does.
Do you think that's something Sims and Bosch would have embraced, given the chance?
It's hard to speculate,
Yeah, fair enough.
but I'd like to believe that anyone who's passionate about solving problems
Right.
would be open to evolving their approach as new challenges arise.
I think so.
After all, innovation is about adapting,
Yeah.
finding new solutions,
Right.
and constantly pushing the boundaries.
It's almost poetic.
Uh-huh.
The very invention that helped accelerate the growth of the automobile
Yeah.
now challenges us to rethink its future.
It's true.
It's like a full circle moment
It is.
where the past is informing the present and shaping the future.
And it's a reminder that innovation is an ongoing process,
Ooh.
a conversation across generations.
I like that.
We learn from those who came before us. We build upon their ideas, and we strive to create a better world for those who come after us.
This deep dive has been more than just a journey
Yeah.
through the mechanics of a spark igniter.
Great.
It's been a reflection on the very nature of innovation itself.
I agree.
We've seen its power,
Yeah.
its complexity, and its ability to both solve problems and create new ones.
And ultimately, I think it's a story of human ingenuity,
Okay.
of our relentless pursuit of progress, and our evolving understanding of what it means to create a truly sustainable future.
Well said.
Thank you.
This deep dive has sparked a lot of thought-provoking questions.
It has.
Not just about engines,
Yeah.
but about the responsibility that comes with innovation.
And I hope it's left our listeners with a sense of wonder, curiosity,
Yeah.
and a desire to delve deeper into the fascinating world of technology and its impact on our lives.
So as we wrap up this exploration
Okay.
of Sims and Bosch's groundbreaking invention,
Right.
let's carry with us the lessons we've learned,
Mm.
the questions we've raised,
Yeah.
and the inspiration to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible,
Absolutely.
always with a mindful eye on the future we're creating.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure exploring this piece of history together.
It has.
And to our listeners, thank you for diving deep with us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration of innovation and its impact on our world.
You will.
Until then, keep those minds curious and those engines running smoothly.